Well, hello and welcome to each and every one of you. We are coming to you from Bonner Springs, Kansas, the National Agricultural Center and Hall of Fame, just outside of Kansas City, Kansas, for the inaugural Multi-GP Pro Spec first race of the season, as it were. And what a heater it's been. 42 pilots in attendance. We took the field to, I believe, down to 36, actually getting 3 or 4 laps or more to be seated or qualified. Earlier tonight, we had a next group and a next 16, and now we're at our championship, top 16, the Multi-GP Pro Spec. Now, our format for this one is a bunch of matches and match finals. Our top 16 are going to race at least 3 times, maybe as many times as 6 times, as we'll take our field then to our grand final, Final Four, to play Chase the Ace to crown our first ever Multi-GP Pro Spec champion. And in our first match, heat number 1, they're ready to go. The number 16 seed, Le Mans, the number 9 seed, the Milkman, the number 8 seed, Cali FPV, and our TQ, no surprises there, Amari. Pilots are set to fly. Good luck, contenders. One of you advancing to our first match final of the night. We're going green. Pilots, arm your quads. Live on the tone in less than 5. Off to the races we go. Fantastic start here in our next 16. We saw some issues with launches, but not with our pro top 16, as we are chasing our TQ Amari, leading through that sweeper. Then is Cali FPV, Le Mans, and the Milkman. 4-lap races here on this track at the National Agricultural Center and Hall of Fame in Bonner Springs, Kansas, deep inside of the Sunflower State, just across the line. And 4-lap races, still chasing our top qualifier, Amari, but he's got a little bit of company. Cali FPV is right behind him, and looks like she just about made a pass in that sweeper. They're separated by a quarter of a second. The Milkman running third right now, and Le Mans is catching up to the field, but he's 7 seconds back. Looks like we just lost our leader, and so that moves Cali FPV up to the number 1 spot, giving chase the Milkman, and then Le Mans a few back from him. And, well, little girl power here on lap number 2. And Milkman looks to be about a gate back. There's Cali, 2 down, 2 to go. Milkman 1.5 seconds back, giving chase onto lap number 3. 4-lap races, chasing Cali FPV. Le Mans on that lead lap, lap 3 as well. But he is about 8 seconds away from the win. Looking for winners here in tonight's format. They're matches with a match final. We just lost the Milkman down to 2. And we're about down to 1 last lap here for Cali. Cali gets on to lap number 4, white flag flying. And Milkman gets onto that lead lap as well, that final lap, and they're separated by about 1.8 seconds. But the OSD on Cali FPV says ain't leaving. And there's Le Mans now onto that final lap. Looks like we must have lost the Milkman as well. And well, now we're racing to a checkered, and Cali FPV gets it. There's Cali, 4 laps, a minute 55 for the W and the win. And the Milkman finishes across in the number 2 spot, 2.5 seconds back, 1 to finish up. That is going to be Le Mans getting his 4 laps in. It'll be 4 laps in 2:07 for Le Mans, 10 seconds ahead, or 9.7 seconds ahead. Milkman in second, and our first winner tonight in our championship top 16 going to be Cali FPV. She was, I think, 8th in qualifying, and, well, just took out our TQ. Representing the neighbors just across that line in Missouri. Moving into our first match final of the night. So 3 matches, that's where I said we're going to run the top 16 at least 3 times. Each and every one of those squares you see is a heat. And we advance the winner, as we have just done to the center of your screen. Cali FPV going to our match final. Now, if you win a match final, you're an automatic lock into our grand final. We run the order 3 times, and so positions 1, 2, and 3 could be guaranteed unless someone sweeps. And position 4 is definitely going to come down to points. Position 3 may come down to points. And earlier tonight in our next 16, it was looking like it was going to come down to points, but we were able to get a huge match win in our final round. And so we follow the story. Anything can happen. And our next heat, getting set to fly, we have the number 15 seed from Chicago, Illinois, Taxu with us. The number 10 seed from Powell, Tennessee, Abnormal. The number 7 seed, Screecher, is with us from the Buckeye State of Ohio. And there he is, your 2017 multi-GP champion on the left-hand side. Second in qualifying here this week from Roanoke, Texas, it is Captain Vanover. Qualifying tight, everyone running that pro spec. We'll talk about that in just a little bit, but Captain Vanover, second in qualifying by a mere 0.4 seconds, less than half a second on the multitude of laps. So definitely a gunner to watch here. This one could be a heater. Pilots set to fly. Pilots, arm your quads. We're going live on the tone in less than 5. Well, it's a little bit of a wobble start and a false start called. False start called. Back, guys, bring it back. I think that false start may be charged to Captain Vanover. Looked like he, and that is confirmed, false start going to Vanover. Looked like he, well, on the FPV feed, looked like he just kind of rocked on the launch stand, but Two Dog RC, our flight line director, watching, making the call that he did depart the block for the tone. Little match jitters there for the former champ of the world. So false start means if we relaunch this group and Captain Vanover false starts again, then that would be a DQ for the round. But I'm sure we won't be making that mistake again, or maybe a strategy, who knows, getting in their heads. Obviously the high seat in there, keeping everyone on their toes. But when we're all running the exact same spec, that's when the pressure is on. There's no advantage to having just a little extra mah in the pack, higher KV in the motor, lighter weight on the frame. Those advantages are taken out of the equation. Comes truly down to pilot skill. So we've seen at some events those whole shot competitions. And once again, it is a whole shot competition to stay out in front, as the racing has been tight all event long. Earlier this afternoon, to take our field from our next group to our next 16, now our championship top 16. With lots of racing to go here tonight. I want to thank a few of our local corporate and national partners as we reset here with heat number 2 of our first match of our top 16. See them on the bottom right-hand side of our screen. Say thanks to our friends at T-Motor, the safer propulsion system, uav-en.tmotor.com. There's TBS, Team Black Sheep, Real Serious Toys. Visit them at team-blacksheep.com. And our friends at Erect, always with on-site part support, family-owned and operated, leading online FPV superstore, Rect.com, just as you see it on the screen. New partner, VCI Hobby, a partner committed to your success every step of the way, VCIHobby.com. And there is A-Steam. That's a new partner to the game, A-Steam Village, developing the talent needed for digital transformation, asteamvillage.org. There's our friends at Drones in School, a great program as well, part of our multi-GP STEM Alliance, multigp.com/STEM for more information. Welcome in HQ Prop as well. We have a number of propeller partners with the Pro Spec. Each and every one of our Pro Spec events going to feature a different one. And iFlight is with us again, dedicated to creating enjoyable, immersive flights. Shop.iflight.com. And our prize partner here this weekend, Radio Master, answering the calls of hobbyists around the globe at radiomasterrc.com. Our thanks as well to one of our first ever sponsors, Superior One Roofing. Why have just a regular roof when you can have a superior one? SuperiorOneRoofing.com. It looks like we need a logo for Advantage Real Estate. MostAgentsSuck.com. Here to help, honored to serve. Advantage Real Estate, located in north central Missouri. One of our new partners, a multi-GP. Big part of the multi-GP Pro Spec as well. Want to move into north central Missouri? They'll help you find your dream home. Want to get out? They'll get you the best price. Looks like we are moments from going green. Had a question there behind the scenes about the hole shot rule. We'll talk about that in a moment. We're about to launch. Just rulebook is Vanover can't have two back-to-back here in this match. Good luck, pilots. Arm your quadcopters. We're going live for real on the tone in less than 5. Off to the races we go. Us watching line of sight there, and a good start here for everyone. Vanover letting everyone else out in front. Don't worry about that. He'll be able to catch up to our field, I'm sure. And he does. He is going to be your leader there at the hole shot. Then normal Screecher, Taxu, 1, 2, 3, 4. It looks like Taxu now getting a little bit further behind our field as we're chasing Captain Vanover. Screecher and Abnormal in a battle for second, third right now. And Vanover now pulling a gear out in front here by about 2 gates. Screecher now up into second ahead of Abnormal. As it's Vanover, Screecher, Abnormal, Taxu. 4.5 seconds separating all 4 pilots here after 1 lap down. Still with 2 3/4 laps to go. Still chasing Captain Vanover. He has about a 1.6 second lead over the rest of our field. Screecher and Abnormal working in that battle for second, third. Captain and it's Vanover. Still Screecher just ahead of Abnormal. Screecher. But again, we're looking for Abnormal. One winner to advance to the match final. And Taxi. Vanover midway through now, 2.2 seconds good, 2 laps down, 2 still to go. Screecher got to find 2.2 seconds. Abnormal's got to find about 2.8 seconds if they're going to get the win. Now we will reset based on seeding and points. Each and every time we regrid up the group as a whole, matches 2 Captain and 3. Vanover. With Screecher. 1 more lap to go for Vanover. Abnormal. Screecher is found at 10th, but still 2.4 seconds back. Taxi. Vanover, sweet work, doing a nice roll, a Vanny roll, dare I say, out of that dive gate. A Screecher and Abnormal still tangled up in a battle for second, third, separated by about 10 feet. But they got to find about 3 gates, Captain and it's too Vanover. Late. There is your winner, Captain Vanover, 4 laps in 1:52. That's about 3 seconds faster than what Taxi. We saw at a Cali FPV moments ago. That is a big win for the number 2 seed so far in qualifying. We'll take Captain Vanover to our match final. Second in this one going to Screecher, 2.5 seconds back behind Captain Vanover. Then we drop 6.5 seconds back to Taxu. And we lost Abnormal on lap number 4. That was match 1, heat number 2. So while we get set here for the next group, question did come up about the hole shot rule. It's been a while since we've looked at the hole shot rule. 7.5.1 in the multi-GP rulebook. The hole shot rule may be invoked once per heat during brackets. I guess that's where we're at. A heat in brackets is defined as a race of 2 to 8 pilots. The race director may invoke a rerun only if the following circumstances are met. Contact. I think that's a different hole shot. It's not hole shot. It was false start. What am I talking about? Yeah. Let's go to 7.5.2. I was at 7.5.1. It's a big rule book. So false start. A false start may be called... fly until the whistle blows. In qualifying, we're not in qualifying, we're in brackets. In brackets, if a racer launches or falls off the launch pad during the arming period before the tone, the pilot will receive 1 warning per bracket. On the second offense, the pilot will have that heat disqualified. So it took me a while to find the actual black and white, but it's how I remembered it as well. And so that doesn't carry through the balance of the night. So that slate is clear. Get set for match 1, heat number 3. The number 14 seed, Ethan FPV. The number 11 seed, Shames. The number 6 seed, Proximo. And the number 3 seed, A Drone. Your high seed in this one. I was watching him fly to the wee hours last night. He was in the third to last race. Squeezed into our top 16. Let's see if it was worth it. Pilots, arm your quads. Live on the tone. Lesson 5. Big start right there. A Drone getting that full send launch. I think he was on block number 4. I watched him go full send. He has got a gear leading the charge. Ethan FPV just behind him by about 0.4 of a second. Then Proximo and Shames. 1, 2, 3, 4.
A Drone.
Watching Proximo.
Ethan FPV.
Proximo is right with
Shames.
A Drone. Battle at the front. Ethan FPV within that mix. And Shames is about 1.9 seconds back. Again, you want to be in the number 1 spot when this is done to advance to our match final. A Drone, Proximo, year 2 to watch. Ethan FPV is only about 4 feet behind him. 1, 2, and 3. Now looking at the line of sight, you can see the whole group is, anyone's got a chance
Proximo.
on this one. A Drone
FPV.
leading by 1.3 seconds
Shames.
here at the midway point. Proximo running second, then 0.6 of a second behind him. Ethan FPV now Shames 2.7 seconds back from our leader. So less than 3 seconds separating all 4 pilots at the midway point, continuing to chase A Drone. And looks like Ethan FPV getting by Proximo there by a hair.
A Drone.
There's
Proximo.
A Drone now. Proximo now inching
Ethan
back up
FPV.
on A Drone. Ethan and Shames are tangled up in a battle for third, fourth. 3 seconds separating our entire field. Still chasing A Drone. This is the final lap. Getting set to wave a checkered flag here in match 1, heat number 3. A Drone looking to hold him off. 0.9 of a second. Proximo has A Drone in his sights, but gonna have to find a line. Is it there? Just about made a pass at the
Proximo.
double gate, but
Shames.
A Drone holds him off to
Ethan
get the win
FPV.
by half a second. 0.5. It'll be 4 laps in 1:54. That is the second fastest round we've seen here tonight. Good run for A Drone to advance to our first match final of our championship top 16. Proximo finishing up second, half a second back. Then we drop 2 seconds back to Ethan FPV in third, and 0.2 of a second behind him. Shames, some good footy. The DVR there, running the multi-GP Pro Spec. Blade to blade, motor to motor. Exciting night. I thought we had a flyaway for a second there. That was just a hover test. Just a hover test to the moon, y'all. It's good. So we have 3 pilots selected for first match final of our championship top 16. Cali FPV, Captain Vanover, and A Drone. Second, third, and 8th in qualifying have made it to our first match final. If you win a match final, you're automatically in the grand final. You don't, those points could help in your journey. Getting set for our 4th heat of the first match. This one, we will have the number 13 seed from Brandenburg, Kentucky, Bernie FPV. The number 12 seed from Blaine, Minnesota, Fire Serpent is with us. The number 5 seed, Mr. Chouse at Tennessee. And your number 4 seed in qualifying, high seed here in this one, Heads Up FPV. 3-time multi-GP champion. 4th in qualifying. 2 from Tennessee, 1 from Minnesota, 1 from Kentucky. Who's going to the match final? Pilots, arm your quads. Live on the tone in less than 5. Fantastic start once again. We're 1, 2, 3, 4. Thought we're about to have a lead change there, but it is going to be heads up FPV, Bernie FPV, Mr. Chow's Fire Serpent. 0.7 of a second separating all 4. The red LEDs, heads up FPV. See him trying to gap that field on the straightaways. He seems to have the slight advantage over our field. And they get all grouped up, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th all together when you got to make those hard turns as we get set to go full
Fire
send.
Serpent.
It is heads
Mr.
up,
Chows.
Fire Serpent, Mr. Chow's, burning FPV. Similar to where we were at the whole shot, not too much shuffling up. And the story remains the same here from the whole shot and after 1 lap down. Heads up FPV out front in this one. Then Mr. Chows, then Fire Serpent running 3rd, Burning FPV and the Caboose in 4th. There's heads up FPV at the midway point, 2 laps down, 2 to go. Mr. Chows still running 2nd, Bernie down into 3rd, Fire Serpent down into 4th. Again, set to wave a white flag with 1 more to go here in a moment. White flag flying. There goes heads up FPV onto lap number 4, the 4th and final lap here. Bernie FPV, Mr. Chows now burning up into 2nd. Mr. Chows down into 3rd. Fire Serpent still on that lead lap with them. They're 4 seconds behind. Heads up FPV. Watching the line of sight camera, we have a great battle for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, but look at that gap. 4 seconds to the good for heads up FPV. And there's the checkered. Heads up FPV advancing to our match final here in match number 1. 5 seconds back, Bernie FPV in the number 2 spot. Mr. Chows, 0.6 of a second behind him, and then Fire Serpent, 0.7 of a second behind him. So you're looking at less than a second between 2nd to 3rd to 4th. It was a heater. Watch FPV and line of sight. And it's 4 laps, 1:51 for heads up FPV. And that is our fastest run so far of the night, giving him a slight advantage going into our first match final. So we got 4 pilots in that match final. The other 12 getting set. We'll be reseeding them into different heats. And that'll all get shuffled around after the placement in our first match final. Win a match final, you go to the grand final. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, those points definitely matter. Heavily weighted, not only in the early rounds, like in the prelims, but in the match final, it's really where you're going to do some damage. So we take a look at that journey. Cali FPV, our winner of heat number 1. Captain Vanover, our winner of heat number 2. A-Drone, heat number 3, race 3. And then heads up FPV, just won moments ago to comprise our first match final here tonight. And we will replicate, we will repeat based on the point seeding after the first round into the second. So it'll be preliminary races. Everyone gets 1. Top 4 goes to the second match final. And then we'll repeat it a 3rd time ahead of our grand final. When we advance to our grand final, it will be Chase the Ace, where we run that final group of pilots till someone wins twice. Even though we do have this point system, and technically you could have an Ironman, there is no Ironman involved in the situation here. We will have at least 2 heats, 2 matches in our grand final. Could be as many as 5. Lots of racing to go to here tonight. And there is a brief look at our points so far. That is taking into effect the order that they qualified. So take a look at your top 4. Those positions could be totally different pending this match final. 5th all the way down to 16th. Those points are about right. factoring in, I guess, qualifying points, overall finishes in the matches, and then heavy points on that match final. You can see the jump from 5th upwards. Our first match final of the night, few moments away. Yes, sir. Finish position matters. So the big points, a win would be amazing, though. Let's do it to it. Pilots, arm your quads. Live on the tone in less than 5. Off like a shot and underway we go. Your 4 winners of the night going to work, watching that line of sight camera. Still with Heads Up FPV just in the lead, but look how tight that grouping is. Only 10 feet separating the entire field. It's Heads Up, Vanover, A-Drone, Cali FPV, unofficial running order here at the moment. Watching the red LEDs of Heads Up FPV, your leader. But right behind him, A-Drone, Captain Vanover, and Cali FPV. Could change again and again. 4-lap races running our multi-GP Pro Spec. It's Heads Up in Vanover, separated by half a second, 1 and 2. Cali FPV 1.1 seconds back from them in 3rd. And then we drop another 2 seconds back to A-Drone. But it's not 1 on lap number 1. Got to go the distance. 4 laps in just under 2 minutes is what it's going to take to win our first match final here of the night. Still with Heads Up FPV. Vanover now has found 0.2 of a second. He's now 0.3 of a second behind Heads Up FPV. Cali FPV 3 seconds back from them. So watching, oh, we got to switch up in our giddy up. Captain Vanover now leading the charge. Just ahead of Heads Up FPV. Big switch up. Here on lap number 3. Vanover now leading onto that 4th and final lap.
A drone.
Takes us back to 17, 18, 19, and even on television as well. The rematch happening in our first match final of the night, and our 2017 champ leading our 2018, 19, and 2021 champ.
Captain Vanover.
And Vanover with a yaw spin to make it official. Getting the win by 2.7 seconds, and it'll be 4 laps, a minute 51.6. That is our second fastest run of the night. Heads Up FPV pulling up second, 2.7 seconds back in the number 2 spot. A-Drone third, 1.6 seconds back from him, and Cali FPV pulling up 4th, and that is going to put Captain Vanover a lock into our grand final here tonight. And then big points to Heads Up FPV, A-Drone, and Cali FPV. And I believe that is how they're going to sit here on points. On our overall points leaderboard. Yep, that's what I got here. And results are unofficial. DVR review underway on Heads Up FPV. Right now he's second, but results are under review. That's maybe a few more points going to A-Drone or Cali FPV pending the result of the tail of the tape. They're going behind the scenes there to verify that as we get set to go into our second match of the night. So the Nomenclature, this is the first, well, we did it kind of at I.O., but this is the first official multi-GP Pro Spec race. And so still working on some of the nomenclature, the verbiage, as it were. We have matches. Every round is a match. Match 1, 2, and 3. Every match has those preliminary rounds, those races or heats. Heat 1, 2, 3, 4. The winner of each of those races or heats advances to our match final. We're now about to go to match number 2, round 2. It'll be heat number 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, preliminary rounds, advancing the winners of each of the prelims to our match final. And again, if you win a match final, you're guaranteed lock into our grand final. And then 4th place in the grand final comes down to points. That's if we get a different match final winner. If someone sweeps or someone gets 2 match finals, which we saw earlier tonight, I believe, in the next 16, then 3rd and 4th could be for points. If someone swept all 3, then 2nd, 3rd, and 4th would be based on points. So those finish points definitely matter as we wait the story of our DVR review. Beautiful venue here for the multi-GP Pro Spec Race. National Agricultural Center and Hall of Fame, Bonner Springs, Kansas, just outside of Kansas City, Kansas. See those big electrical poles in the background. It is home of the Lineman World Championship. Electric and utility workers from around the globe fly in to scale and compete on those poles behind the scenes. Now pilots from around America flying in. Now we've got a couple international pilots as well. Getting set to compete with drones here this week. So we have yet to hear the result of our DVR review, but it sounds like our first heat of the match, number 2, is set to fly. We're just in a slight holding pattern. We'll be looking for Amari, Mr. Chouse, Ethan FPV, and Captain Vanover to work. All right. This one is set to fly. Good luck, pilots. We're going green. Pilots, arm your quads. Live on the tone. Lesson 5. Yeah, that was an interesting start there. False start called. And false start going to Amari on that one. So false start awarded to Amari. And of course, we just went through this rule here not too long ago. Looks like we're going to go with what we got. And after the DVR review on our match final, results are official, no changes. We've built them based on that finish order, are legit. So back into match number 2. This is our first heat. With Captain Vanover, Ethan FPV, Mr. Chouse, and Amari. So they reseed them based on your result, not on your qualifying. Qualifying was just to get into match 1. And so your top qualifier, Amari, has gone from 1st to 16th. He did 1 lap in 36 seconds. And so that puts him now with our first winner of the night. Captain Vanover now sits number 1 on points. Mr. Chouth and Ethan FPV have drawn deep. Awaiting word from Two Dog that we are clear to fly. And we're going green. Pilots, arm your quads. Live on the tone, less than 5. Off to the races we go. Again, this is match number 2 with your top qualifier and your number 1 pilot on points. Grinding it out and working for us here. Whole shot going to go to Captain Vanover. Then Mari, then Ethan FPV. Looks like we're in 4th here with Mr. Chouse. Opening lap here. Captain Vanover just looking for the additional points.
Amari. Ethan FPV.
There is Amari 0.5 of a second behind Captain Vanover. Ethan FPV running 3rd. And so your top pilot on points, top pilot in qualifying, those are 2 exclusive pilots, are your 1 and 2, Vanover and Amari. And Captain Vanover looks to be about 30 feet ahead of Amari as they go on to lap number 3 now. 2 down, 2 to go,
Ethan
separated
FPV.
by 0.8 of a second. Ethan FPV running 3rd. He is about 4 seconds back from the win. The transfer position here in the match format is looking for a winner to make it to our match final. Amari still a little bit behind Captain Vanover, keeping him within his sights, waiting for that moment to strike.
Captain Vanover. Amari.
And now they're 0.8 of a second apart. Captain
Ethan
Vanover
FPV.
gaining a little bit more ground over Amari. And they're now working on our final lap. Ethan FPV getting onto that last lap as well. 5.7 seconds back from the transfer position. Issues for Amari. He was trying to put the pressure on, but succumbing to his own pressure. Moving now Ethan FPV up into 2nd. And we wave a checkered for Captain Vanover. 4 laps, 1:51.0. And that is our fastest run of the
Ethan
night.
FPV.
Captain Vanover is coming in hot with a second match win plus a match final win, and the fastest run of the night, 4 laps, 1:51. 7.3 seconds back was Ethan FPV to finish up in 2nd. Amari in 3rd was running 2nd and down on that 4th and final lap. And Mr. Chouse, we lost on the opening. Not even before the whole shot gate. We just lost him. He was in, and he was out. And he'll be looking for a better showing in match number 3, which will be about 5 or 6 heats away for him. So we talked about those scenarios. Captain Vanover now advancing to his 2nd match final of the night. So we could be set up for a sweep of the match finals. So the points could be weighted heavier. It is too early to say, but the probability is pretty high. Just look at the points flying away with it. But that could change in a hurry. Just wrapping up a retrieval. Other pilots getting set to fly. Again, we want to thank one of our great partners since the very beginning of the history of multi-GP. Before the Pro Spec and the multi-GP spec, the start of Open. Team Black Sheep TBS Real Serious Toys for the analog pilots, the leading analog video transmitter. Of course, many using TBS gear for their control link still. They're number 1 in our hearts. Thank you, Team Black Sheep, team-blacksheep.com. One of the very first partners and one of the longest continuous running sponsors. And our drone race, TBS is there. And our thanks to them for their continued support of drone racing worldwide. Getting set for match 2, heat number 2. The number 10 seed so far this week, now 7th on points. Well, the number 13 seed this week, now 7 on points, will be Bernie FPV. Number 11 qualifier, now 10th on points, Shames. The number 10th qualifier, now 15th on points, Abnormal. And the number 4 qualifier, now sitting 2nd overall on points, Heads Up FPV. With one of these 4 pilots going to our match final. Good luck, pilots. Arm your quadcopters. Live on the tone in less than 5. We are underway once again. Heads Up FPV leading once again. But Bernie Shames, Abnormal, keeping them within their sights. Abnormal squeezing just ahead of Shames. But again, we got a huge battle here, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Heads Up FPV doing his thing. Now Heads Up FPV dropping in traffic. Looks like we're going to move Bernie up into the number 1 spot. Then Abnormal, Shames, and Heads Up FPV.
Abnormal.
So there are no guarantees. Now you're going to put
Shames.
Abnormal up into the
Bernie
lead.
FPV.
Shames, Heads Up, and Bernie. So they keep shuffling up as we chase Abnormal. Here on lap number 2. Heads Up FPV gaining a position now up into 2nd, just behind Abnormal.
Abnormal. Shames.
And you got Shames now up
Heads
into
up.
2nd. So Abnormal,
Bernie
Shames, Heads Up FPV, and then we drop 2 seconds back to Bernie FPV at the midway point. Our top 3 are separated by 1/10 of a second. Talk about those changes. Multi-GP Pro Spec, blade to blade, motor to motor.
Heads Up.
And now
Shames.
Heads Up FPV back into the
Bernie
lead.
FPV.
Shames up into 2nd, 1.3
Abnormal.
seconds back. Bernie in 3rd, a 2.5 behind him, and Abnormal 1.9 seconds behind him. So just over a second separating P1 to P2 to P3 to P4. And back in the lead, Heads Up FPV. Shames still running 2nd. He's about 30 feet back, though. That 1.3 second deficit. As we wave a checkered flag for Heads Up
Shames.
FPV, 4 laps a minute
Bernie
54. Shames crossing over in
Abnormal.
2.5 2.5 seconds back. Then we drop a 1.5 seconds to Bernie FPV and another 1.5 seconds to Abnormal to round out your finish order. And we will advance Heads Up FPV to another match final. That has got him pretty solid on the points right now. No guarantees how it shakes up, especially with match wins being guaranteed, but Heads Up FPV in fine form. James had a turn at the lead there. Bernie led for a little bit on lap number 1, Abnormal leading after lap 2. That was a wild one. But situation remains the same. Captain Vanover and Heads Up FPV. 2 of our 4 pilots advancing so far into our match 2 match final. Talk about those original sponsors. Also Superior One Roofing, the premier local roofing contractor with 40 years of experience and thousands of roofing projects under their belt. Locations in Texas and Florida as well. SuperiorOneRoofing.com. Please patronize those who support drone racing. Talked about TBS and talk about Superior One Roofing since the dawn of drone racing, 2015. They've been a part of Multi-GP. Our continued thanks and love and appreciation to them for their continued support of Multi-GP drone racing. We're quick on the changeover. It's about 10 after 1 a.m. local time, Bonner, Kansas. For match 2, heat number 3. We got Mr. Limon. He's moved up 2 positions, 16th in qualifying right now, 14th on points. got the Milkman, dropped a couple of positions. He was 9th in qualifying, now 11th on points. You got Screecher has moved up a little bit. He was 7th in qualifying, now 6th in points. And A Drone holding his own, trying to get into that grand final. 3rd in qualifying and right now 3rd in points. He's already made one match final tonight. Will he make another? Screecher, the Milkman, and Limon trying to advance to their first match final of the night. Pilots are set to fly. Good luck, contenders. We're going green. Pilots, arm your quads. Live on the tone in less than 5. Another fantastic start. Multi-GP Pro Spec Championship Top 16. We're halfway through match number 2. This is our 3rd race, 3rd heat of the night. We're chasing A Drone. He's your highest qualifier in this one. He's your highest on points in this one, and he is your leader. With Screecher, Limon, and the Milkman giving chase right behind him. Milkman and Limon on top of each other. Looks like we lost Screecher. And so that battle for second, third is just behind our leader. It's a good one to watch. I guess you could call it a 3-way battle for the lead when they're all separated by 1.8 seconds. But A Drone with that 1.5 second advantage. Limon and Milkman, when they did the double stack gate, it was like almost a contact. They almost did a Provo sack tap there at one point on the dive.
A Drone.
There's 2 laps down for A Drone, 2 down, 2 to go. Limon running second, 2 seconds back in the number 2 spot, and Milkman still running third. Looks like Screecher got back up, guys. There's Screecher. He's a lap back, but he is back in the game. In this situation, just got to make sure we finish laps. But A Drone still holding that lead, trying to advance to his second match final of the night. And looks like he's got a little more breathing room. White flag flying for A Drone. And he's 1.7 seconds ahead of Limon and Milkman. The Milkman is, well, we're separated just under 2 seconds. First to second to third. And Screecher keeping up with them, but he's 1 lap back. Just going to try and finish strong, get a little momentum going for match number 3. Waiting in the distance. A Drone making it look easy. Limon. 4 laps, 1:55. Limon, 1.9 seconds back, number 2 spot. And the Milkman in third. 3 seconds off of our leader. 1.3 seconds back out of second. And Screecher will finish up 3 laps in 2 minutes 7. Tough opening lap for Screecher. And that's a bad beat for Screecher. A Drone had the fastest lap of that group, 25.7 on lap 1. Second fastest lap went to Screecher on lap 3, 25.9. Then, yeah, you take all the laps recorded there. There was 15 laps between the 4 pilots, and Screecher's 2 good laps were within the top 5 right there. Means lost opportunity. Bad beat for Screech. And A Drone advancing to his second match final of the night. And this is quite interesting. Captain Vanover, Heads Up FPV, and A Drone are in our match 2 match final. Now look at race number 4. Cali FPV, Proximo, Fire Serpent, and Taxu. If Cali FPV wins this next match, our match finals are identical. Even the graphics agree. Like, they've already put Cali's picture up. That's what the graphics team is expecting. Proximo, Fire Serpent, and Taxu say, hold on, fix that Google code. We have an open opportunity right now. Looking for a big moment here for Proximo. The 6th in qualifying. He's moved up 1 position. He's 5th now on points. Earlier tonight, in his first prelim round in match 1, finished 2nd by just under half a second. He was bested by a drone that time. One of these 4 pilots advancing to our second match final of our championship top 16. Pilots are set to fly. Good luck, contenders. Arm your quads. We're live on the Tone in less than 5. We're off to the races, looking for that final spot to advance to our match final. And, of course, advantage on points to Cali FPV. She's your leader here at the Holeshot Gate. Then Proximo, 1/10 of a second back. Then Fire Serpent, 3/10 of a second back. And then another 10th back to Taxu. We're talking less than half a second. It looks like we just lost Fire Serpent, moving Taxu up into number 3 spot. Still chasing Cali FPV. Now it's Proximo up in the number 1 spot. Taxu's catching up to him, but it's Proximo, Cali, Taxu.
Cali FPV.
Proximo leading Cali FPV by 1.5 seconds right now. But Cali FPV has Proximo in her sights. Had a good shot of those green LEDs. Or the pink. It's pink and pink. Proximo leading Cali FPV now onto lap number 3. They're separated by 0.2 of a second. Proximo in the green. Cali, I believe, in the pink. I think we have a couple of different LEDs flashing out there. We do know that Proximo is still leading by about 0.2 of a second. They still have another lap to go. Cali FPV still has Proximo in her sights the entire time. They just about had contact there. They're 0.4 of a second apart, but we can see just how tight it is. Following on that line of sight camera, it's still Proximo just ahead of Cali FPV. This is the final lap. This is the do or die. Will our match final be just like the first, or will Proximo be competing in his first match final of the night? They're still separated by a mere 10 feet. As we wave a checkered flag, Proximo 1.1 seconds ahead of Cali FPV. That one was a banger. But we are going to take Proximo to our match final. Excellent racing.
Taxu
going to finish up in 3rd, and so that'll give Fire Serpent 4th at the end of our preliminary round. Results official as we see them up on the screen. Of course, we're running the Multi-GP Pro Spec here, which is the Pro stock frame or $399 practice rig. The original arms only. LEDs always required. The motors, any motor with a stator volume the same or is less than a 2808 motor. The propellers vary by each Pro spec event. Batteries 6S LiPos 2200 mAh capacity or less. And then when we get on board with those electronics, any ESC with D-Shot and RPM limit and enabled, obviously Beta Flight Pro Spec firmware. And when it comes to video, HD0 or analog, and when it comes to control link, sky's the limit. Comprise our Multi-GP Pro Spec. So another match final upon us here tonight. It's match final number 2 of 3. Featuring 3 of the same pilots we featured in match final number 1. With a new guest, guy on the right of your screen. Proximo, our new addition here to a match final. 6th in qualifying. Now screaming up our leaderboard with points. Adrone, who we saw in our first match final, finished 3rd. Heads Up FPV, who we saw in our first match final, finished 2nd. Captain Vanover, who won his first match final, is already a guaranteed lock to our grand final here tonight. You win a match final, you go to the grand final. The other positions on points. Will we see a sweep? Does Captain Vanover win all 3 match finals? He's had the fastest run of the night, 4 laps, a minute 51 even. That was to get to this match final in match number 2. But heads up, FPV is looking for his first match final win. As is a drone. Second chance for romance for those 2 pilots. And Proximo in his first match final of the night. All 4 pilots are now in our flight line, confirming that they are ready. Match final number 2. Let's go green. Pilots, arm your quads. Live on the tone in less than 5. Off to the races we go. Looked like we almost had a rough start on that one, but everyone free and clear. And we are chasing Captain Vanover. Heads up, FPV is a 1/10 of a second behind him, then 3/10 of a second back, a drone, and then Proximo behind him. But of course, that was just at the whole shot gate. Anything could happen. Still watching Vanover and heads up in a battle 1 and 2. A drone was running third. Now we're going to move Proximo up into third. We lost a drone. So down to 3, still chasing Captain Vanover. Heads up, FPV closest. He's 2/10 of a second back. Proximo running third, 1.3 seconds back from our leader, and it looks like we just lost Proximo. So deja vu all over again. It is Captain Vanover and heads up, FPV, your final 2 in the skies. And now just grinding it out like they did 2017, 18, 19, and on television as well. They're only separated by about 5 feet. 2/10 of a second onto lap 3. 2 down, 2 to go. Does Vanover set himself up for the sweep, or does Heads Up FPV clinch his ticket into the grand final here tonight? They were close there. That was just about a pass, but Vanover still holding off Heads Up FPV. Now separated by about 25 feet. Just depends on the where they are on the track. And Vanover goes down. Heads up FPV now up into the lead. So sweep not going to happen here tonight. And now heads up FPV goes down. So Jinx, now it's a race to turtle. Who gets up in the air first? Captain Vanover, his OSD comes up and says, sorry. Heads up FPV has gone further. Now it's not the measurement of further. Successful gates further. Heads up FPV has moved further. And that is where it comes to an end right there. And so kind of lackluster, but the win going to go to Heads Up FPV. I was just double checking the multi-GP rulebook, and no rules are going to come into play. Just wanted to double check here that 7.9.2 rule that was kind of slid in that we kind of forgot about until it came back in a big way on our stock race at the International Open. Chase the Ace race format for final 7.9.2. If no pilot completes the designated number of laps, then no win or points are awarded. But that is solely for Chase the Ace, so not in this format. And so Heads Up FPV will advance to our grand final. He gets a match win. And so regardless, if you're not Captain Vanover or Heads Up FPV, still a path on points for maybe that 3rd seat or that 4th seat for sure in our grand final tonight. We're 2/3 of the way through the long rounds, matches 1, 2, and 3. Ahead of our grand final, as we will crown our multi-GP Pro Spec champion from Bonner, Kansas. Points have been updated, and it's a tie. Captain Vanover and Heads FFPV each with 175 points. A-Drone in 3rd, still on points. And Proximo now moving up into 4th on points on the bubble. Then we drop about 11 points back to Cali FPV in 5th. That is close. We drop a bunch back to Shames in 6th. 42 points back, then 2 points back from him, Bernie FPV. You can see how many points are awarded on those match wins. It's enough to get you into a match final, but look at A-Drone. A-Drone has got his match race wins, but in the match finals, he's got a 3rd and a 4th, but still enough to put him 3rd overall on points. So, depending on what happens here, especially if Captain Vanover Heads up FPV and make it to our match 3 match final and get the win, then points coming into play in a big way. With the advantage right now to A-Drone. Well, back again to another multi-GP event. Rect is with us, a family-owned and operated leading online FPV superstore based in the U.S., specializing in FPV racing, freestyle, tiny and micro, whoop, and more. On-site part support at all the major events. With the online store that gives you so much more. Rekt.com, WREKD.com. We also want to thank iFlight for being with us once again, one of our season partners, dedicated to creating enjoyable and immersive flights for everyone by going above and beyond what you think drones can do. You can check out the entire fleet, all the support products as well at shop.iflight.com. Especially you want to get into flying in those unique places, fun spaces. iFlight has the craft to do that. Also, T-Motor is back. The safer propulsion system. Their motors are used in about everything, film and television, agriculture. And I believe that world record drone looked like a flying a large soda bottle. Set the speed record. T-Motor was there. You also see some of those manned UAV test flights. We saw one at the World Games. Guy flew into the stadium with one of those manned drones. Massive motors. Of course, it was T-Motor. uav-en.tmotor.com. Just Google them. A little easier to get to the old website. Thanks to T-Motor, another longtime supporter of the Multi-GP Drone Racing League. Also want to thank VCI Hobby. You have a partner committed to your success every step of the way. Their product offerings are categorized into 3 major directions: motors, cinelifters, and fixed wing solutions. VCIHobby.com. We've got a new partner. It's A-Steam Village. They develop the talent needed for digital transformation. Their community is focused on driving innovation, workforce development, community development, and economic development in a digital world through STEM and STEAM. Education for a future where every child, adult, and family can thrive and reach their full potential. A great program. Visit them at asteamvillage.org. You got a boxer yet? Radio Master, answering the calls of hobbyists around the globe. They're dedicated to the continuous evolution of the hobby and keeping open hardware standards and open source platforms affordable and accessible to everyone. RadioMasterRC.com. And finally, our good friends at our new friends, longtime friends, Advantage Real Estate as well. New partner here, the Multi-GP Pro Spec. helping you move in, move out in north central Missouri. You'll find out more about them, what they do to serve you, and check out some of their latest listings at mostagentsuck.com. Looks like we're in a brief holding pattern here on site. And so we await match number 3. We're going to go into third and final round. Everyone with a chance to advance to our grand final ahead of our podium of the 2024 Multi-GP Pro Spec Race in Bonner City, Kansas. Super stoked to bring you this event. It is late right now. It is about 1:30 a.m. local, and we're doing something new this year. This broadcast is recorded to tape and then released when our fans are waking up to enjoy the drone race. And very few of us will even remember what will have happened at the wee witching hour when this one is done, but part of the plan as well. Running under the bright lights at night with the LEDs. Great way to race drones here to kick off the Multi-GP Pro Spec. Pilots are getting to their seats ahead of match number 3, heat number 1. Points have shuffled. So now Fire Serpent is in 16th. He's in this one. Bernie FPV 9th. Ethan FPV in 8th. And now co-leader on points. Tied for number 1. Heads Up FPV is in this one. Going to advance to another match final. Of course, Heads Up FPV is in our grand final. He's already got a match final win. Can he win another? Let's see what happens. Pilots, arm your quads. Live on the tone. Stand by. Stand by. I heard a wait. You're good to go? All right. Pilots, we appreciate your patience. Rearm your quads. Live on the tone. In less than 5. Yes, sir. Great night for drone racing. We are underway chasing Heads Up FPV. Ethan FPV is right with them. Then you got Bernie FPV and Fire Serpent. Bernie FPV making a little bit of a push now. He is going to slide up into second. Then Ethan Fire Serpent. Heads Up FPV is about half a gate ahead. Look how close it is right now. Bernie trying to make a statement. Heads Up FPV leading the charge now. On to lap number 2. Bernie is 1.5 seconds back. Ethan FPV 0.4 of a second behind him in third. Fire Serpent 3 seconds off of our leader. This is a reset. Remember, it's match number 3. So looking for a winner at this point to go to our match 3 match final. And so far, it is looking pretty good right now for Heads Up FPV. Ethan FPV is now moved up into second. Now let's see, we're at the midway point. He's about 3.2 seconds back behind Heads Up FPV. Fire Serpent and Bernie FPV on top of each other in a battle for third and fourth. As we look back to the lead, Heads Up FPV running second, still Ethan FPV. And they're separated by about 150 feet. That 3 seconds right now.
Heads Up.
Heads Up FPV now goes on to his final lap. 1 to go.
Ethan
White flag
FPV.
flying. Ethan FPV onto his final lap. 4 seconds
Fire
behind
Serpent.
our leader. Fire Serpent and Bernie FPV still on top of each other. 0.070. 7 hundredths of a second apart. And that's a good one to watch their line of sight, as this one is about done. Heads Up FPV working his way to the checkered. And Heads Up FPV getting it done. 4 laps, a minute 50.5. That is one of the fastest runs that we've seen here tonight. Ethan FPV pulling up second, 5.7 seconds back. Bernie FPV in third, 2.5 seconds behind him. And then 1.7 seconds behind him, Fire Serpent. And so deja vu all over again, Heads Up FPV moving to his third of 3 match finals here tonight. And, well, that was the guy who was 4th in qualifying. There are no guarantees. especially with the talent that we have assembled here for our inaugural multi-GP Pro Spec race. Getting set for race number 2. Again, we're in match 3, race 2. We're Mr. Chouse, the Milkman, Limon, and Captain Vanover. Captain Vanover has made it to 2 match finals tonight, a first and a second. He's in our grand final. Taking a look at Lehman. So far in his preliminary rounds, he's got a third and a second. No match finals as of yet. The Milkman has a second and a third, same as Lehman. No match finals as of yet. Mr. Chouse has a third and a fourth. No match finals as of yet. But that could change. Winner of each and every one of these races advancing to the match final. Winner of the match final going to our grand final. And a path on points as well for at least one pilot. Final adjustments being made here. Pressure is on. Kind of do or die. Sounds like we're about to go green. Go time on a Saturday night. Let's have some fun. Pilots, arm your quads. Live on the tone in less than 5. Off to the races we go. Watching that FPV feed, that was fun. It was 4 wide. Line of sight feed looks sweet as well. Looks like only 3 quads with LEDs, but there are 4 flying. Someone rocking the black tonight. Captain Vanover, Limon, the Milkman, Mr. Chouse, your official running order here on the opening lap, 4-lap races. Multi-GP Pro Spec. This is match number 3. Race 2. Who is advancing to our 3rd match final?
Captain
Will be
Vanover.
another appearance by
Mr.
Captain
Chouse.
Vanover.
Limon.
It's close. 1.9
Milkman.
seconds separating our entire field as Vanover leads them by 0.9 of a second. That is not by much. Mr. Chouse closest to our leader. Then you got Limon and the Milkman running 3rd and 4th.
Captain
And
Vanover.
on to lap 3 we go.
Mr.
2 down,
Chouse.
2 to go. Mr. Chouse now
Limon.
1.7 seconds back. Then
Milkman.
Limon and the Milkman 3.5 seconds separating all 4 pilots. Again, that means it's super close right now. No guarantees, but Captain Vanover now still inching away from the rest of the pack. He was about 9/10 of a second ahead of everyone. Then he's 1.7 seconds ahead of everyone. He gets
Captain
on to
Vanover.
our 4th and
Mr.
final
Chouse.
lap. Now he's 2.6
Limon.
seconds ahead of
The
everyone.
milkman.
So again, all eyes on Mr. Chouse running second to see if he can find a gear and reel in Captain Vanover. Once again, Captain Vanover will make it to 3 of 3 match finals. Let's see if we can get some new faces in those match finals. It looks like that's
Captain
not going to
Vanover.
happen. Captain Vanover, another
Mr.
win
Chouse.
here tonight.
Limon.
It'll be 4 laps, a minute
The
52,
milkman.
taking it a little easy. Mr. Chouse, 3 seconds back in second, then a second and a half back, Limon, and just behind him by almost 0.08, the milkman. And results are unofficial on that last one. Results are unofficial. It will be under review. Not sure what the call is going to be about, but they will play back the tape. We have professionals running the 1s and 2s, playing it back, channel 1 and 2, maybe 3 and 4. My guy on Raceman 2 was good. And so, well, I feel kind of bad on this one.
Is that what
So what they were reviewing there, and you probably heard me say it, I'm like, well, there's only 3 with LEDs. So maybe I feel bad if I was the one who pointed it out, but 10.1.6 LEDs, each drone is required to have LEDs mounted so that at least one set of LEDs are visible from any direction. LEDs referred to cob LEDs and traditional LEDs. This usually requires LEDs to be mounted in 2 locations. Yada, yada, yada. The LEDs must be a reasonable brightness that makes them both visible, does not interfere with the other pilot's vision on the racetrack. They can be any visible color. But the issue there, Mr. Chouse, whose LEDs did not engage, and so his second place will become a 4th on that one. And so that is going to definitely hurt him with the points. I mean, he was 15th on points, was looking for something pretty big right there. And so maybe that will help out Limon. Limon will pull up another 2nd. And so Limon was 7th on points. Gives him a 2nd here in a match round. Maybe. But results are official. And Captain Vanover, no false starts, LEDs engaged, and another match final for the 2017 multi-GP champ Captain Vanover advancing to the show. And it's deja vu all over again. Heads up FPV and Captain Vanover in the match finals. 2 more positions to fill it, and 2 more races to go here in match number 3. We talked about our partner, Advantage Real Estate. MostAgentsSuck.com can help you find the best agent in your market no matter where you live or where you want to live. You should know that MostAgentsSuck.com. Go to the website. They'll get you hooked up. What a great service provided by Advantage Real Estate. And I can speak from experience. Most agents suck. Watching this in real time. Message being typed. Here we are. You're welcome, Shames. I watch you type it. Turned your right wave. Hey, buddy. It's time for Shames to advance to a match final. We got Shames, Abnormal, Screecher, and Proximo. These four pilots. Proximo has been featured in a match final. Is match final number 2. We last saw Proximo finish 3rd in that one. And that has now put Proximo 3rd on points, but that could change. Especially if we get a 3rd winner here. A 3rd exclusive winner in our match finals. Thought my feed was frozen there, but nope. They're just intently looking at something. Great venue for our inaugural multi-GP Pro Spec race. The National Agricultural Center and Hall of Fame. It's a museum and educational facility in Bonner Springs, Kansas. Amazing venue, hosting a multitude of events. They started in April with the Barnyard Babies Family Festival, the Tractor Cruise in May, Show and Shine in July, and the Multi-GP Pro Spec in August. And in October, the International Linemen's Rodeo, where more than 5,000 utility linemen from all over the world compete in various pole climbing contests on those poles you see beside our track. You can bring your lawn chair and watch the competition. Put in your calendars October 19th. Plus, enjoy the food and crafts vendors, music, and games for kids. Admission, it's free. Why not? And then stick around for the Jack-O-Lantern Jamboree the next weekend. All right, we're going green. Pilots, arm your quads. Live on the tone in less than 5. It's time to go full send. That pressure is on. 4 flying for us here, vying for 1 position in our match final. As we bring them around, it's Proximo leading Shames, Abnormal, and Screecher. 0.3 of a second separating all 4. Watching that line of sight cam, this is a thing of beauty right now. The dream of spec racing right there. 3 quads going 3 wide. That back section, Jason Proximo leading. Then you got Screecher, then Shames.
Proximo.
Abnormal trying to catch up. There's
Screecher.
Abnormal now getting by up into 2nd. Screecher down into 3rd. And now Shames getting onto that lead lap as well. 8 seconds away from that transfer position to our match final here in match 3. Proximo with a 2nd lead the last time around, still with a bunch of laps to go.
Abnormal.
And that's
Proximo.
Abnormal, who's just in front of him. I was
Screecher.
watching on board with Proximo. I'm like, what's with the purple LEDs in front of Proximo?
Shames.
That's Abnormal, who has found a gear. Abnormal was 11th on points, 10th in qualifying. He is right now in fine form. I was watching went into the poles darn near. And so Abnormal now leading by a bunch onto the final lap. By 1.6 seconds, Screecher within reach as well. We got 2 seconds behind our leader. Shames getting on that lead lap. He's 7.5 seconds behind our leader. Continuing, looks a little rough for Abnormal. That's Proximo, Screecher, and Shames' time to shine now. Their final three, they're side by side up at the front.
Proximo.
It's going to be
Screecher.
Proximo over Screecher by 0.6 of a second.
James.
0.062. Proximo over Screecher. And that one will be under review. Results are unofficial. Big sigh of relief there for Proximo. Looking to advance to his second match final here tonight, but he is going to be under the tail of the tape. Results are unofficial. And results are slightly miscalculated there on the screen. It's unofficial. There we go. Unofficial finish order Proximo, then 0.06 seconds back Screecher, then 6 seconds back Shames. Then we lost Abnormal, who was leading on that final lap in fourth. But again, our unofficial winner right now, Proximo, under review. One more heat to go before our match final, then our grand final here tonight. There's a lot of poles. Over 5,000 linemen assembling in Bonner, Kansas to scale those poles. The International Linemen's Rodeo. I can't believe it's only a one-day event, but I don't know if you've ever climbed a pole. I'm sure you remember climbing a tree. I guess one day is enough. You do it a bunch, you're going to be wore out. But just like in drone racing, looks like it's a long day. Actually, no, it's just it's actually more than one day. October 16 to 19. Maybe. Right. Huh. I see what happens. So they fly in for the International Linemen's Rodeo. Wednesday, they have conferences set up. Thursday, safety training, judges meeting. Friday, registration. And then Saturday, they climb on those poles right there. Saturday, the big day. Saturday, October 19th. Opening ceremony, 7 a.m. And it goes 12 hours. There's 12 hours of linemen scaling those poles. The awards banquet at 7 o'clock that night. I was a little confused because I started on the venue website, the National Agricultural Center and Hall of Fame. Then I went to the actual event website. I wanted to learn more. Results are official. After DVR review, Proximo will advance to our match final. That is his second match final of the night. And now we get set for your final heat to fly here in match number 3. It's A-Drone, Cali FPV, Taxu, and Amari. A-Drone and Cali FPV have been in match finals tonight. And it's time to see Taxu and Amari with a chance to advance. Amari, our top qualifier, ahead of our matches this evening. Let's go green. Pilots, arm your quads. Live on the tone, less than 5. We are up and at 'em. 4 pilots underway. Great night for drone racing. Who's joining Heads Up FPV, Captain Vanover, and Proximo in our match final? A-Drone with the whole shot. Cali FPV, 0.2 of a second behind. And then Amari, then Taxu It is a tight one. 1, 2, 3, 4. The entire field separated by less than 20 feet here on the opening lap. Looks like we're chasing a drone here at the moment. The rest of the field right behind him. Amari. 2/10 of a second back. Then Cali. Then Taxu. 1, 2, 3, 4. A drone trying to hold him off to go to another match final for him. His second of the night. And Amari has a drone in his sights. Amari looking to redeem himself as a top qualifier. Get into that match final and win that. Go to the grand final. Finish strong. And Amari making the pass on lap 2, leading on to lap number 3. A drone now 0.8 of a second back in second. Cali running third, 2.3 seconds back from our leader. And Taxu on that lead lap as well, 5 seconds behind our leader. And that leader is Amari. He's about a flag ahead of A drone and Cali FPV.
Amari. A drone.
White flag flying.
Cali
Amari,
FPV.
1.1 seconds to the good. Then A drone, Cali.
Taxu.
1, 2, and 3. There's Taxu onto that final lap as well. And so the question is, does Amari advance to his first match final of the night? Does he redeem himself? Ironman mode can be allegedly engaged. What do we get done? A drone is only about 8 feet behind. That's 0.8 of a second as well. And Amari advancing to the match final here tonight.
Taxu.
A drone finishing up second, 0.8 of a second back. Then we drop 2.5 seconds back to Cali FPV in third and Taxu in fourth, way back of the pack. So Amari getting that one done, 4 laps, 1:53. And results are unofficial. We do know that Amari, you are racing back-to-back, but Cali FPV will be under review for the points. When we went green, she was 5th on points, pulled up a 3rd. Not sure if that's going to be enough to move her to 4th on points, but they are going to review it to make sure the final results are right. Before we started this round, the match 3 round, A-Drone was 4th on points. We're taking the top 4 to our grand final. He pulled up a 2nd this time around. He may be able to squeeze in. I think right now, I haven't looked at the points, but I think, well, obviously in our grand final, we have Captain Vanover, who won match 1, Heads Up FPV, who won match 2. But then I think that 3rd on points should be Proximo. So he's now going to be in his 3rd match final. Yeah, right now, unofficially, Proximo is in 3rd. A-Drone is in 4th on points. Proximo, A-Drone. So then back to this race. So the wild card in this one is going to be Amari, who is 7th on points. So let's see. What happens if Amari gets 2nd? I don't think it's enough. I think he needs a win. Oh, in that situation, I gave Proximo the win. Let's give someone else the win. Prox 3rd. Yeah. Unofficially, by my quick punching of numbers, Amari would need the win to advance to the grand final. Proximo, right now, I think is 3rd. I think he is a lock. I think Proximo is going to be a lock to our grand final. We have A-Drone. A-Drone sitting on that bubble in 4th. Yeah, it's really going to come down to Amari getting a win. Otherwise, looks like a drone would be in our final. Again, in our match final, we have Heads Up FPV, who won match 2. Match 2's match final. Captain Vanover won our first match final. And they're 1 and 2. First and second in our 2 match finals. And Proximo, we saw already in 1 match final get 3rd. He's got a bunch of points won. So I believe that is the situation. It's going to be on Amari, top qualifier. Get a win to advance to our grand final here tonight. Heads Up FPV, Vanover, and Proximo pretty much racing for fun. That is my quick math. Those points in that previous round are still under review. And as our officials are doing the review, we are about to go green on match final number 3 with Amari, Proximo, Captain Vanover, and Heads Up FPV. Proximo, I believe, is a lock for the grand final on points. Heads Up FPV and Captain Vanover have punched their ticket. It's on Amari to get a match final win to punch his ticket into our grand final here tonight. Some racing for fun and another racing for number 1. Let's go green. Pilots, arm your quads. Live on the tone in less than 5. Looked like a shaky start there for Captain Vanover, a shaky start for Proximo. And so it's just Amari and Heads Up FPV, and it is Heads Up FPV just ahead of Amari right now. I don't know if that was a strategy, our other 2 dropping it, knowing that they're already in. And now, if you're a drone, you're cheering on Heads Up FPV. If you're an Amari fan, you're cheering on him. It is head-to-head racing with Amari 1.2 seconds ahead of Heads Up FPV. Look how close it is. Amari still holding off Heads Up FPV. This is the one Amari needed to win. Heads Up FPV does have him in his sights, and now Heads Up FPV got a little distracted by the LEDs of Amari in front of him, and Heads Up FPV is down. And this one looks to be all Amari right now. He's still flying on lap number 3. He's the only pilot on lap number 3. We lost Heads Up FPV on lap number 2. We lost Captain Vanover on the opening lap, and we lost Proximo at the takeoff blocks. And so here's a guy, loves that spec racing, loves stock racing.
Amari
Came in as a top qualifier, a couple of earlier rough rounds, and in a clinch, when the pressure is on, kind of a bottom of the 9th situation to make it to the World Series, as it were. Amari, the last one flying to advance to our grand final here tonight. And then we're going to be looking at points. Amari, 4 laps, a minute 56. Not the fastest, but that was the one with the most pressure right there. Amari advancing to our grand final. So they are still reviewing some tape behind the scenes. And gonna do a gate repair as well. And while they do that, I'm going to speak out of school. And I was looking at the points, and I was looking at the calculations here to see who was in our grand final. And so we know Amari got the win. He's a lock. We know that Captain Vanover and Heads Up FPV got wins. And then I said, well, looking right now, it looks like a drone would make it if Amari didn't win. And then Proximo was a lock. And I did say about 4 times, it looks like. Now, if you look on the screen right now, and I don't know where that is in our program right now, but A Drone and Proximo are currently tied with 154 points. They are tied. Amari is 6th on points, but Amari just advanced into our grand final. And so it'll go down to our officials on the flight line, but we have a tie on points between A Drone and Proximo for the 4th seat in our grand final. That's unofficial. I'm following along just like everyone else right now. Did the quick math in my head, the points as such, and I believe we have a tie on points. And I am not certain if we have a tiebreaker based on their time posted. And they are going to verify. The rule book is quite deep here. And I'm looking for a pro spec section. Pro spec regulations. So I got the frame, the motors, the battery, electronics, LEDs. And I do not see anything with the point. So we are dealing with a few things here. Otherwise, we're going to be looking at times. I mean, there's a couple of things that you look at, like, well, who made the most amount of match finals? Well, Proximo and A Drone both made 2 match finals. A Drone was a 3rd and a 4th. Proximo was a 3rd and a 4th. I'm hearing behind the scenes a race off. It's kind of what I'm feeling. I just saw, oh, Dougie, can you bring that back up? I just saw some times posted there. Qualifying ranking, right? I guess that could be a tiebreaker. I mean, what would be like A Drone, a minute 15 in 3rd, Proximo in 6th with a minute 16.8. I don't know. Do you revert back to the qualifying time for the tiebreaker? Do you do their fastest time in the match? A Drone was 4 laps a minute 54. Proximo was 4 laps a minute 57. Or if there's no rule, do you just have a race off? The discussion is happening behind the scenes on what to do there. Just after 2 a.m. locally, Bonner, Kansas, outside of Kansas City, inside the Sunflower State. Got at least 2 heats to go in our grand final. Chase the Ace. Could be as many as 5. And we may have a 6th. We may have one more race. The deciding minds will have the discussion. And we will see who that 4th pilot is. Our grand final to join Captain Vanover, Heads Up FPV, and Amari. Great night for drone racing. All smiles inside of the pilot pit tent. The multi-GP Pro Spec Race. Looks a lot like the International Open in a roundabout way with those blue and white tents that we used to use, the Academy of Model Aeronautics. Folding chairs and the tables, but only venue to host a World Championship style race. Some of the fastest drone racers in the industry all racing that multi-GP Pro Spec home of the International Lineman's Rodeo and the inaugural multi-GP Pro Spec Race. It's a lot of lumber. Our beautiful LED lined course. Thanks to our cast and crew doing all the great work. The course at Thursday, Friday, now late Saturday night. Setting the stage for what could be an epic final. There were our 4 that advanced to our match 3 match final. And that one, the elusive win, going to Amari. Top qualifier advancing now to our grand final, but that was after going into 16th position, like literally first to last. As when we went from match 1 to match 2, we reseeded based on obviously the match final 1, 2, 3, 4, but 5th through 16th were based on their lap times in their race heat. And how does the TQ go 1st to 16th in one race? Well, Amari had just 1 lap recorded. So he was 16th. 15th had 3 laps recorded. And then 14th had 4 laps, but did it in a minute 57. So far, our fastest run tonight is, I believe, a minute 50.2 or minute 50.2, something like that. Those points constantly being updated. And the situation that we're at now, that we have a statistical tie on points. We have course repairs, and so decisions to make. DVR reviews underway for the overall ranking points. And our grand final of our championship top 16 and multi-GP Pro Spec coming up. So I don't know if you heard the word, but to break that statistical tie, we're going to have a race-off for that 4th and final position into our grand final between A-Drone and Proximo. 154 points. So obviously the first time here with the format, they did a lot of testing to make sure all the coding and everything went right. And at no point did we see a statistical tie. And so to break the tie, a race off between Proximo and A Drone. So there is a little bit of a staging position, podium placement. A Drone was third in qualifying to Proximo's sixth. So the podium advantage going to go to A Drone. But this is head to head. How many laps? 4 laps? 4 lap head to head. A Drone versus Proximo. One of these two pilots advancing to our grand final. Good luck, contenders. Let's make history. Arm your quads. Live on the tone in less than 5. Both of them off at the exact same time. It's A Drone just ahead of Proximo, but it is a 4-lap race here in this race-off situation. They're only separated by about 10 feet. A Drone ahead of Proximo. Let's just call it 0.2 of a second right now. Both of them through the dive gates. They were just about to pass by Proximo, but A Drone still holding him off. But you see the separation there, not very much. A Drone leading Proximo here on this opening lap of 4-lap race-off. Why not? As we try and fill out our grand final.
Proximo.
A Drone 0.5 of a second now ahead of Proximo. Does qualifying position matter? Well, it did for the launch, and right now qualifying says earlier this week A Drone was faster than Proximo. Well, we've seen people get faster over the program, and Proximo about that same dive from the upper to the lower, that opportunity to make a pass, but A Drone a little bit further ahead, 0.4 of a second now. We're at the midway point, 2 laps in, 2 laps still to go. A Drone leading Proximo here on this race-off. And now they're on top of each other. Proximo about to make that pass. Looked like he got ahead by a little bit. And A Drone now with the big bobble. And that's going to put Proximo up in the lead. But A Drone has recovered. And now the situation is reversed for the last 2 laps from the first 2 laps. And A Drone down again. Proximo onto the final lap. Lap number 4. It was on lock. It was on point. And a couple of issues there for A Drone. And so he will be sitting aside for our grand final. And Proximo, 6th in qualifying, going to make it to our grand final 4 of our championship top 16 in the multi-GP Pro Spec. And there it is across the line. Make it official. 4 laps, minute 58. Proximo is in our grand final. Well, mathematical points. Mathematical improbability, but we get it done. So literally a back-to-back situation there for Proximo. Joining Amari, Heads Up FPV, and Captain Vanover in our multi-GP Pro Spec Grand Final of the Championship Top 16. Well, here we are at your grand final multi-GP championship top 16 of multi-GP Pro Spec Kansas City, Kansas. We are stoked to roll into it. Your final four from our field of about 42 pilots that have headed into Bonner, Kansas to race the multi-GP Pro Spec. From our top 16 down to our grand final four. Moments ago, the race off. The pilot with our big move here, 6th in qualifying. From Monroe, Ohio, Proximo with a race off and into our grand final. Also redemption in our match 3 match final with your top qualifier, Amari, getting that elusive win. Representing Waukee, Iowa. He is in your grand final as well. In your top 2, 4th in qualifying here this week. From Maryville, Tennessee, the 3-time multi-GP champion, Heads Up FPV. And our first winner of the night, winner of match final number 1, 2nd in qualifying this week, 2017 multi-GP champion, Captain Vanover, in our grand final as well. Those 4 pilots going to fly at least twice. We're going to grid these 4 pilots up and race again and again until a pilot gets 2 wins, 2 aces in what we... And so, minimum of 2 rounds to get 2 aces awarded. But if each pilot wins a round, that would put us to a 5th and sudden death round for Chase the Ace for the championship of the inaugural multi-GP Pro Spec. Looking at these 4 pilots, all 4 of them were in the top 10 in qualifying. They've all been top 10, the multi-GP championship. Mari was top 10 in 2019. Proximo was top 3 in 2023. Heads Up FPV, our 3-time champion, 2018, 2019, and 2021. And Captain Vanover has rounded out the top 3 in multi-GP champs 3 times. 3rd in 2019, 2nd in 2018, and 2017, our champion. One of the most award-winning pilots in drone racing history. Of course, Amari, the champ that we saw at I.O., running the spec and the stock. This is his jam. So put the coffee on. This one is probably going to go more than the minimum 2. The stage is set for some outstanding racing to round out our Saturday night. The standard rules in play. The false start rule, we know that one. Touched on that a few times here tonight. Whole shot rule, of course. And looking for wins, looking for aces. But 2nd and 3rd on our podium are decided by every heat's finish. Last-minute adjustments underway. It's a Saturday night in the Sunflower State. It's Chase the Ace round number 1 for the fastest pilots, not only this week, but in drone racing itself. Getting set to wage battle. Good luck, contenders. It's round number 1. Who gets the first ace? We're about to find out. Pilots, arm your quads. Live on the tone in less than 5. Boom, they are up. That whole shot competition. Looks like Heads Up FPV, first one out front, but it is super tight. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Heads Up, Vanover, Amari, Proximo. The entire field separated by 0.6 of a second. And we are push up into the lead. Sitting number 1, Heads Up FPV into second. Then Amari, then Proximo. Continuing on, keep it going strong all night long.
Captain
Yes, sir.
Heads Up. Proximo. Amari.
On to lap number 2, we take them. Vanover leading by 1/10 of a second. Issues for Heads Up FPV on lap number 2, moving Proximo and Amari into second, third. Got about a 1.5 lead here for Captain Vanover. He gets on to lap 3 now. 2 down,
Proximo.
2 to go. There's
Amari.
Proximo, 2 seconds back. Amari running third, 3 seconds away from our leader. Now, finish points matter, so second and third are a big deal here in these rounds. Of course, we are looking for an ace, and right now, Captain Vanover holding on to that ace. And he is set to fly it. Captain Vanover now on to lap number 4. As
Amari.
we get across next with Proximo and Amari, 1/10 of a second apart from each other. They're 2.5 seconds back from our leader, Captain Vanover. Second overall in qualifying and sitting number 1 in our grand final right now. Chase Ace round number 1. Wave a checkered flag in just a moment here. Across the line we go with Captain Vanover. 4 laps, 1:52.
Proximo.
Amari pulling up second. Proximo in third. So they were 2 seconds back. And Proximo 0.6 of a second back behind Amari. With your first finish over, Captain Vanover 1, Amari 2, Proximo 3, Heads Up 4. And that is Chase the Ace round number 1 done. So Chase the Ace running them repeatedly until someone gets 2 aces, 2 wins, an advantage right now to Captain Vanover with our first ace here tonight. Means when we grid them up again, it'll be on Amari, who is second, Proximo, who is third, Heads Up FPV, who is fourth. To get a win, get an ace to push it to a third round. Otherwise, Captain Vanover could go 2 up, 2 down, become our inaugural multi-GP Pro Spec champion. Got the launch stools in play. Couple prop changes, couple lipo changes. Always an exciting night for drone racing. No wind in the air, Bonner City, Kansas right now. 62 degrees. Beautiful night for a drone race. Gonna be a warm day for teardown though, going up to 79. Only a 19% chance of rain. So you're clear. Couple of T-storms, couple of thunderstorms coming late, so you should be all right. A little unseasonal, a little colder here today. Gonna get up to the 90s on Wednesday. Our Pro Spec Top 16 Grand Final Championship with Chase Yates round number 2 moments away. Lots of fans hanging out to watch this climactic finale. And what a story it has been here tonight. The race off ahead of our grand final. Lots of running for redemption. Some huge victories and some tough defeats as well. Making those memories. I mean, what else is there to do at 2:38 in the morning? Is there a Waffle House nearby? Let's go. And for anyone who feels that it's late right now, it's 3:38 a.m. where I'm at. So, little update from our sidelines there. We had to do a motor replacement. Heads Up FPV's motor literally exploded during that last run. Captain Vanover was running second at the time, saw the motor explode. And so one to watch back a little bit later, where Chase Cam became championship cam. So now we'll see what will happen here in Chase Yates round number 2. Will more motors explode? Will they ever find the missing sub? So many questions unanswered. Chase Yates round number 2. Captain Vanover with an ace. It is on Amari, who is second, Proximo, who is third, and Heads Up FPV, who is fourth in that first round to get a win to push it to a third round of Chase the Ace here tonight. Otherwise, Captain Vanover could go 2 up, 2 down, and be our champion. Which means officially the comeback tour has started, and what a way to start. We're about to go green. Chase the Ace round number 2. Good luck, pilots. Arm your quads. Live on the tone in less than 5. Off to the races we go. Looked like a shaky start, but no contact or no victims there. And we are underway. Full send. Look at that. It is heads up FPV, Vanover, Proximo, and we lost Amari. Heads up and Captain Vanover were side by side in that sweeper just ahead of our flight line, giving everyone a front row seat as Captain Vanover leading heads up FPV. But you go on board with heads up FPV. He has Captain Vanover in his sights.
Vanover.
And now another victim, Proximo down to just 2. Captain Vanover and heads up FPV, 1 and 2. Captain Vanover still leading heads up FPV here on lap number 2. Are we going to push this to another round, or will the podium be decided in this race?
Captain Vanover.
Heads up FPV is getting closer, 0.2 of a second back. They're at the midway point, 2 laps in, 2 laps still to go. And, I mean, super close right there. Both of them corkscrewing out of there at the exact same time. Now they're about 4 feet apart.
Captain Vanover.
And white flag flying, 1 more to go. Captain Vanover leading, and looks like heads up FPV, second last gate before the start finish gate, had to double back. So now it's 8 seconds to the good for Captain Vanover. Heads up FPV going to try and catch up, but right now Captain Vanover with an 8-second lead, lining things up on our start finish gate and across the line. There's 4 laps for Captain Vanover. And the celebration may not be coming in as of yet. There is a review on the whole shot of that last race. There is a review. There'll be a video issue on that last race. So right now, Captain Vanover, pair of wins, could be your champion. Heads up FPV, a 4th and a 2nd. I'll give him 6 points. That would put him 2nd unofficially. Proximo 3rd unofficially. Amari 4th unofficially. But that is, again, can I say the word unofficially more times? That is unofficial. 2 things to review. The whole shot, which is paramount. The video issue, which may come into play. But results are unofficial. So very fortunate here to have a little bit of an ear behind the scenes. And sounds like the whole shot rule being contested. Whole shot rule, which we're very familiar with. Whole shot rule, of course, 7.5.1. Contact occurs between 2 or more quads before the whole shot gate. So the second part of that, they've reworded this rule. I had it memorized, but the second part, at least one of the quads involved in the midair must crash before traveling through the whole shot gate. So just the rule remains the same, just the verbiage a little different. Contact occurs between 2 or more quads before the whole shot gate. At least one of the quads involved in the midair must crash before traveling through the whole shot gate. So rule remains the same. Contact resulting in a crash before the whole shot gate would institute a rerun, and the conversations between Proximo and Amari. And Amari believes he didn't go through the start-finish gate. but the crash happening right by the start-finish gate from what I've been able to ascertain. Proximo, I believe the other victim in the midair, says he has DVR of the crash. That confirms a contact. And again, per the official black and white, at least one of the quads involved in the midair must crash before traveling through the hole shot gate. So the question is, well, was there contact? We believe there was. I was watching the line of sight camera in real time, and it looked to me like contact. If you play it back later, you'll hear me say, well, it looks like contact, but maybe no worse for wear. And then we lost Amari. Not sure, wasn't sure where that was. Looking at half of the puzzle here, we don't see a time registered on the hole shot gate for Amari, but there is one thing that we also look at is we don't time video transmitters, we time the drone. So maybe there was contact, video transmitter disconnected. Did he go through the start-finish gate? Then that would be no rerun. If he crashed before the start-finish gate, that is confirmed, then it would be a rerun. And if the crash happens after the start-finish gate, whether the VTX was connected or not, if that would be what they are reviewing there, then there would be no rerun in that situation per the rule. And as we calculated the podium, it would be decided. So as we sit right now, unofficially, if there is no rerun, Captain Vanover, 2 wins. Then we're tied on points with 6 points apiece. Heads up with a second and a fourth. That's 6 points. Samari a second and a fourth. That's 6 points. And Proximo a pair of thirds. That's 6 points. Tiebreaker always being the last run race, just like in motocross. Tiebreaker of Moto 1, Moto 2 is always Moto 2. The last run race is always the most important race. And so it would be Amari 4th overall, Proximo 3rd overall, and Heads Up 2nd overall. Vanover with the win, that is. And review still underway. Well, after DVR review and review of that DVR review, it was decided that Amari did not go through the start-finish gate. We saw that with the DVR, DVR from Proximo, so it is confirmed that the hold shot rule is now invoked, and so results have been wiped clean, and we will rerun Chase the Ace round number 2. And what a night. Race-offs. Redemption. 16th. First to 16th to back in the top 4. And crazy mid-airs, resulting in whole shot rule, Chase the Ace. This reminds me of that song, Airplane. Airplane, airplane. I'm sorry I'm late. I'm on my way, so don't close that gate. We're going to take a look here at the DVR review confirming the situation that we're talking about. This is a replay on the left-hand side of your screen. So the question was whether Amari, after the contact, went through the start-finish gate. He's going to lose video, and really you want to focus on Proximo on the right-hand side. We're doing this live. So live. All right, we're going to watch it from the start again. Watch the one in the bottom right-hand corner. Or if you really want to get into it, you can watch the line of sight camera, the traditional sports entertainment camera. That's where you're going to see the contact. Lining things up. There's going to be more contact. I haven't seen this yet. There's that contact. And there was the crash. Can we go back a frame or two? So it looked like a little bit of contact on the launch, but then here's the big hit between Proximo and Amari. And they played this back to see where did the crash happen for Amari. Watching on Proximo on the right-hand side. There's the contact. And I don't even know what they were watching, but we are set to go. Green, Chase the Ace, round number 2. Advantage to Captain Vanover. Let's go green. Pilots Armor Quads. Live on the tone. Less than 5. Let's see if we can get a great start here this time around. On our way to that hole shot gate, that elusive hole shot gate, and 4 are through. We're chasing Amari. Amari getting that hole shot. Now he's already dropping in the number 2 spot. You got Vanover heads up Amari, then Proximo. 1, 2, 3, 4. This one is a heater. Captain Vanover, loosey-goosey, moving Amari up into the number 1 spot. There's Amari on to lap 2. Vanover dropping into
Proximo.
2nd. Heads up into 3rd. Proximo in 4th. And so our TQ redeeming himself to get into this grand final. Now leading Chase the Ace round number 2. To scoop our 2nd ace of the grand final. Captain Vanover is about 8 feet back. Look at the
Amari.
rest of the field. Heads up's
Captain
within
Vanover.
striking distance as well.
Heads up.
It's Amari, Captain
Proximo.
Vanover, heads up, and Proximo. 4 seconds separating them at the midway point as we continue chasing our top qualifier, Amari, here on lap 3. Still with another lap to go once we come around. Heads up,
Amari.
FPV was just about ready to
Captain
make a pass
Vanover.
by Vanover up into second, but found an interesting line. Now it's
Proximo.
Amari, Captain Vanover up at the front. It's Proximo 7 seconds back. And now Vanover has Amari in his sights. Now Vanover just ahead of Amari. Now Amari just ahead of Vanover here on this final lap. Will Amari hold off Captain Vanover? This one's close. Amari
Vanover.
gets it by 0.5 of a second. We're going to go another round. The second time
Proximo.
here tonight, Amari answering the call. Yes, sir. 4 laps, a minute 50.9. One of our top 5 round times of the evening. And Captain Vanover, 0.5 of a second back in second. Proximo going to scoop up another third. And heads up FPV pulling up 4th here at this time. So we have a DVR review on someone, though. And Captain Vanover now under review on that last one. Results are under review, unofficial. But as we sit right now, again, unofficially, we are tied. Captain Vanover and Amari, each with an ace and each with a second place. Proximo sitting third with a pair of thirds, and heads up FPV looking to strike with a pair of fourths right now. As we line things up for a Chase Ace round number 3, again with a DVR review happening behind the scene. Now the good news is the DVR review that we don't need to hold this next race, and results are official. No problems. And so we have a tie at the top. Captain Vanover and Amari, each with a first and a second. Proximo with a pair of thirds, heads up FPV with a pair of fourths, and we go to Chase Ace round number 3. If heads up FPV or Proximo get an ace, it'll go to a 4th round. Otherwise, it's a shootout between our top qualifier, Amari, and I want to say our points leader, Captain Vanover, second in qualifying, but really cleaned up over matches 1, 2, and 3. Won our first match final, was second in our second match final, was third in our third match final. And it looks like actually Heads Up FPV was our points leader. Because as great as the performance of Captain Vanover, the first, second, and third over the 3 rounds, Heads Up FPV had a first and a pair of seconds over the 3 match finals. So Heads Up FPV was our points leader out of the matches ahead of the grand final. So Captain Vanover second in qualifying, second on points, and tied right now with our top qualifier, Amari, with a first and a second over our first 2 rounds. The Chase the Ace here in our grand final, the multi-GP Pro Spec. It's a drone racing party. Yes, sir. Nighttime is the right time. Well, thanks again to all the great partners of the Pro Spec Kickoff Race, TBS, Superior One Roofing, T-Motor, iFlight, Rect, VCI Hobby, Advantage Real Estate, MostAgentsSuck.com, A-Steam Village, and Radio Master. They're with us for the long haul, and here we are, extra innings. This is our fourth round to Chase the Ace, unofficially, because we had to call one back. This is Chase the Ace round number 3. Advantage right now to Captain Vanover and Amari. They each have aces. Now it's time for Heads Up FPV and Proximo to get a win, get an ace, and push it to a round number 4. All right, pilots, arm your quads. Live on the tone in less than 5. Off we go, and of course, a couple of races ago, now we kind of hold our breath here until we get everyone underway, and it looks like it's a clean start again. Captain Vanover, Amari, Heads Up FPV, and Proximo, 1, 2, 3, 4. And watching line of sight there, well, now we're seeing a little gap in separation with Captain Vanover leading. Heads Up FPV running second, then Proximo third, Amari fourth. Here on the opening lap. Lots of racing still to go. Captain Vanover, Proximo, heads up, 1, 2, and 3. There's Amari, 3.7 seconds back from our leader. So Captain Vanover with an ace, looking to get his second one to put a cap on the night. And Proximo, again, looking for that elusive ace and trying to keep Captain Vanover within his sights here on lap number 2. Heads Up FPV making a big move. He slides from third into second.
Proximo.
Captain Vanover,
Amari.
Heads Up FPV, Proximo, Amari, your running order. Heads Up FPV just 0.4 of a second behind our leader. Proximo 2 seconds behind our leader. And so here in this round of Chase the Ace, we're looking for aces. And Heads Up FPV looking for his first win. He is close to Captain Vanover. They're on to the final lap, separated by 0.3 of a second.
Amari.
Lining things up at that dive gate. Heads Up trying a tighter line there, but Captain Vanover still holding him off. Has him within his sights here on lap number 4. Are we going to extra innings? Are we doing some calculations for those points? Bring out a checkered flag and get ready to wave it. It's going to be Captain Vanover, 0.1 of a second ahead of Heads Up FPV. To come back to drone racing with a big W and win. A pair of aces over the 3 rounds for Captain Vanover, your multi-GP Pro Spec champion. So still awaiting word that we have nothing to worry about here behind the scenes. And it sounds like results are official as the fireworks going off to celebrate a championship, another one. It's been a long time since 2017. Captain Vanover, multi-GP champion, and now our first Pro Spec champion here in 2024, 7 years later. That is a lifetime in drone racing, and you just can't count out the captain. Points are coming in as the fireworks continue to pop. So a pair of thirds and a fourth overall. That is going to be Proximo. Pair of fourths and a second for Heads Up FPV to make him your second runner-up, third on our podium. A first and a second and a third for your TQ Amari, your 2024 multi-GP Bonner Springs, Kansas Pro Spec champion. In the reserve champion position, the number 2 spot. And Captain Vanover, a second, and of course, a pair of aces, 2 wins to be your first multi-GP Pro Spec champion. We are lining things up here on site for our podium presentation. And we turn things over to Two Dog RC. Mark is down there to award some hardware in just a moment.
Congratulations. All right, now I know you've had a little bit of a hand in this drone and flying it. What do you got to say about this Pro Spec frame?
I mean, the Pro Spec frame, the Pro Spec series, the whole idea of this is something I really stand behind. I'm all for drone racing, and I think Pro Spec is one of the big parts of the future of drone racing, and I'm here to support it. So I think this was a prime example of great racing, great competition from all the pilots. All the quads seem to be the same speed to me, and it was just down to who can move the sticks the best, and I think that's a great example of how good Pro Spec is.
All right, we had a great LED track out here, and it was really fun to see all the quads. You could really get a great view of the quads. What was your favorite part of the racing out here tonight?
It was close racing. I mean, I'm a fan of drone racing, simple as that. And that means I want close racing, I want fair racing, and I want competitive racing. And that's exactly what we had. I mean, the finals and Colin and Alex and Christian, that was, you couldn't have picked a better 4. And that was, you didn't know who was going to win. It was exciting. Everybody was on the edge of their seat, myself included. And it just made it exciting. My heart was racing. I think everybody else's was too. And that just makes me happy.
Sounds like it's been a while since you felt this excited about drone racing. It's really great to see from someone that's been in this hobby or sport for so long. So, Evan, now who do you want to send a special shout out to?
I mean, first off, I want to say props to you. You were in a tough position there for in that judge, and I think you made the right call, and it still came out to be, it gave us more racing. And I as we've talked several times this week, I like racing. So another people I want to thank is, of course, all multi-GB, but all the 5-3 team. I don't know if you guys saw, but when I would have quad issues, I had people there for me, and I can't say thanks enough to them. That's Skip, that's Ethan, that's Ty, and then the biggest one in my eyes goes to Mr. Chaz. He's out there putting in the time. He drags me to the field. We study each other's lines. We want to kill each other half the time, but I credit this to him. Like, I think he should have been up there. He got unlucky, but this one's for you, Charles.
Oh, that's so sweet. I mean, and he was a little sick under the weather this week, so you did a really good job. All right, let's get some pictures, Evan. All right, thank you. Let's get it. Thanks, Evan. Hey, nice to see you. We'll see you at another one. All right, let's see it for Evan. All right. Now, as I learned from one of my favorite drone announcers, Mr. Joe Scully, our champion runner-up champion, or reserve champion, Mr. Amari. Come on out here, Amari. Congratulations. Here's your big trophy. You just won the first second place Pro Spec trophy ever made. Wow. Ever made. So Evan came up here and talked about his support team and Mr. Charleston, those. Now, I know your dad was there. What do you got to say about how much he helped you out today?
No, it's no secret that he's my secret weapon. So it's awesome to have him here helping me with all of this. You know, he's helped me learn everything that I've done for this, and I do a lot of it myself here, but he's definitely a great encourager. So I appreciate him being here and all the help he's been.
That's great. I mean, family is really important in this hobby, and we see him here. We see him in IO. And speaking of IO, you did have a big win there. Now you have another Pro Spec trophy. What do you think of this Pro Spec series? What do you think of this whole thing?
I think all forms of spec racing are the future of drone racing. I think it's good for everyone. I think it's good for the pilots. It's good for the spectators. I think this is how we grow our sport.
That's great. Well, I also think it's great for my tracks because you guys, we haven't had to repair anything out here, and I really appreciate that. Is there anybody else that you want to send a shout out to?
Oh man, big thanks to Radio Master. Let's see here, HD0 obviously, we've been doing all of that. My tattoo batteries have been thousands of cycles through them at this point, so huge shout out to them. I love the frame. The frame is awesome. Love 533 Armando and everything that they've done to make this frame. I've put probably 300 packs through it, and I haven't broken an arm. Like, there's nothing. It's fantastic. You fly more and you repair less. What can you ask for?
Yeah, I agree with that too. So, I wasn't a believer at first, but I know Sean's told me tons of times, and I did put my head down and say he was right earlier this evening. So I'll give him credit for that. Now at IO we had the Killian rule that came into effect. Now we had the whole shot rule. I don't know. What do you think about it? What was going through your head when that happened?
I was just getting excited that there's going to be yet another Amari rule in the book.
That is true. When we came up with this spec, I would have to say we did think about Amari rules. So I just want to say congratulations. Thanks for coming out here, and let's get some pictures. And I hope your quad's disarmed. Oh, yeah, come on, get in here. All right, come on in here. Well, yeah, we paid a lot of money for this back job. Let's get as many pictures out of here as possible. Good old family. Mari, move to the right just a little bit. Nice and centered. There you go. Get that Pro Spec logo in there. So great to see how much family's in this sport. It really is. Yeah. All right. This is kind of cool. So I got a little teary-eyed there a little bit. I get to give a trophy now. Woo! I get to give a trophy to one of the best drone racers that I've ever seen. Someone I've grown up with, Mr. Alex Vanover. Come out here. This is so cool. All right. So you came out here, which I don't know about you guys, but there were bets that you weren't going to make it. He is back. You even played a little pickleball, so you got a little both. So what, besides the pickleball, what was your favorite thing about coming out here tonight?
Man, I've been waiting a long time to be back out here. Honestly, for a while it was like I just want to get back out and race. I want to feel what it's like to battle again. But I think the best part about being out here was just being with the community again. I think in the last couple of years I just kind of lost. I feel like that's why I raced from the get-go. It wasn't necessarily because I just wanted to win or just get better. It's because I enjoyed the community, and being out here with you guys just makes me realize how much I've missed all of y'all, and I'm really looking forward. Yeah, I was telling people in private that this was going to be my retirement race, and I want to color commentate, but this is definitely my unretirement race, and so I'm going to continue racing. And before you say anything else, I just want to give a big shout out to a couple people. I'm going to ramble for a second. First off, to all my sponsors here, Wrecked FPV really made this possible for me to come back. Joshua, got me goggles overnighted out of his own pocket and stuff like that to make sure I had gear I needed to fly. To the guys who helped me train with Amari and Proximo, I mean, these guys, if it wasn't for them coming to my hometown and training with me, I wouldn't have had the ability to push and be able to push when I did there in the finals when it mattered most. So without those guys, with Chet spotting me, giving me all the information I needed to know, there's so many more people I'm sure I'm forgetting, but also a shout out to every single one of you because, again, this community, I'm reminded so much tonight of how much this community means to me. And so thank you guys so much for welcoming me back with open arms, and I promise you this is not the last of me.
I believe that. I believe we're going to see you again. Now, over a couple weekends ago, we saw people trying to do some crazy thing with the quads, trying to, I don't know, put their cameras on upside down and stuff like that. But at the end, the drones all look the same. We're watching out here. We can see the drones are flying the same speed. So knowing that, what was that extra skill, the extra Vanover, the Vanny style that really propelled you to that podium?
I feel like I've always been really good with heavy spec quads. Ever since I got on DRL in 2019, I really shifted my focus to just spec quads. But, I mean, listen, you guys all saw it. I mean, Amari won one of those heats. The other two guys, Evan and Proximo, right on me. I mean, I think if you could rerun that race 10 times, you'd probably get 10 different results. So that's why I feel like it's ironic to say, but this is like, in a way, the humblest I felt in a long time, because I know, like, if we reran that race a lot, you could have a different result. So I don't know. I just feel like being consistent and just staying relaxed. I went and played pickleball today. I did everything I could to distract my mind from the fact that this is my first big race in 3 years, that I could come back and have a good chance at winning. I just wanted to come in, have fun, and like I said, be with the community, and you guys really made this an amazing race, and I'm looking forward to doing it all over again soon.
Great. Well, it was amazing having you here. Let's hear a big round of applause for Mr. Alex, Captain Vanover. Oh, we can move over just a little bit. There we go. Claire and the top one. All right. All right. We're going to get you and the top 3 finalists, and then we'll do the top 4. So, Proximal, you come in after these 3. Evan, there you go. There's big trophies in there. Hey, thanks for coming, everybody, and making this a great race. Alex, move over just there you go, right there. Oh, there you go. 1, 2, 3. All right, got some? All right, Mr. Proximo. All right, while they're taking this picture, hey, guys, we're going to restream this later today, I guess it is now. So we would ask politely and strongly that you don't post any spoilers online. I know everyone's super excited to be here and watch this. Yeah, you guys are good. But please don't post online. Look for the YouTube link and chat in the live stream as we restream it. But try to save us a little bit of special for the rest of the community to watch this event as seeing the first time. So thank you all for coming, and we can wrap this up. Thank you, everybody.
Well, thank you to Dog RC with our podium presentation. That is a wrap. The inaugural Multi-GP Pro Spec Championship, Bonner City, Kansas. A great venue to host a drone race. Hopefully we get to go back again. Thanks to our great sponsors bringing us this event here tonight. Thank you to TBS, Superior One Roofing, T-Motor, along with iFlight, Rect, VCI Hobby, Advantage Real Estate, A-Steam Village, Radio Master, and of course our local team supporting us on the ground. Thanks to the entire team at KC Multi-Rotor, Matt Taylor, Joey, Matt King, and the entire team. Thanks for hosting the very first Multi-GP Pro Spec race. On behalf of our entire cast and crew of Multi-GP Drone Racing, we look forward to seeing you at the next one. Pro Spec is the thing. Pickleball is a big thing as well, but Pro Spec is where it's at. And you can find out more information at multigp.com/prospec. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we will see you at the next Multi-GP Drone Race.